Hey, welcome to the Market of the Moment update for the week of January 9th, 2023. Michael Oldham here with the Oldham team, Chris Madrid with Caprock Home Loans. Good to see you again, Chris.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back.
If they could get in the market now, that would be the time. So anyway, let's jump into that and why we feel like now is the time to buy, as Chris is talking about. Rates are going to tick down. He mentioned the 2-to-1 program, which could get you into, I guess, about a 4.1 to 4.4 interest rate right now.
Starting rate for sure. Yeah.
So there are definitely some great options. Pricing is, I would say it's suppressed. Not. We're going to talk a little bit about home equity here in a little bit. But, that has to do with pricing and things. So let's just take a quick glance at our DFW market. These are numbers based from last week. So Collin County, the sales price to list price ticked down, 1/10 of a point to 94% of list. And that's 6% below list. Days on market is 33. That remained the same. And there's about a 2.2 months supply, which remained similar to the same. Last week, we talked a lot about the low number of listings and things and kind of predicted that, as we got into this month, they would jump. And sure enough, they did. New listings this week was 276 versus 121 the previous week, and solds were down, which we're going to see in all the markets because it is mid-month. People were getting closed there beginning of the month. So sold 216 versus 289 last week. Over Denton County, we know it trends very similar to Collin County, 93.3. They actually ticked up 1/10 of a percentage point in the Denton County market. That's the first time we've seen that in a while. So that was interesting to kind of stood out to me. Days on market remained the same at 36, and the month supply dropped 1/10 of a month down to 2.2. New listings were 265, very similar to Collin, versus 125 last week, and solds were 210 versus 300. Down to Dallas County, pretty much remained the same as last week at 94.9% or 4.3% below list. Days on market was 23, which remained the same, 1.8 month supply. And the new listings was 414 versus 239 last week, almost double the amount. And solds were 288 versus 337. Our rural county, up Grayson County, prices continue to suppress there, dropping another 0.3 of a point down to 92% of list, 8% below. Days on market remain the same, 37, 3.6 months supply remain the same. And you had 48 new listings come to the market this week versus 31 last week, and 38 versus 53 solds. Let's jump over to Fort Worth, Tarrant County. You're looking at 94.2% of sales price to list price, 5.8% below list. That dropped 1/10 of a percent. Days on market remain the same, 31. 2 supply dropped 1/10 of a month, and new listings were 428 versus 258 last week, and solds were 328 versus 425 last week. Parker County, west of Fort Worth, that's kind of their Grayson County rural area, 93.3% or 6.7% below list. That dropped 1/10 of a point or 1/10 of a percentage point. Days on market ticked up 1 day to 50. I would say that's starting to get into the buyer's market area. 3.7 months supply remained the same. You had 68 new listings come on the market and 43 sold this week. And Rockwall County, just east of Dallas, 92.5%. That dropped 0.7 of a full point. Days on market was 37. That dropped a day. 3.3 month supply remained the same. And you had 38 new listings versus 32. And 29 sold versus 58 last week. So as far as the DFW market, pretty much remaining pretty close to the same as last week.
Right, so
Um,
one thing we didn't cover, right, or we didn't talk about last week was, so if you're looking at these, right, the county averages, where's the best deal to be had, right? So one, if you're an investor, right, or two, you work remotely, and it really doesn't matter where you live, right, as long as you have internet and cell phone coverage, right? So going back to those numbers, what county is out of the what is that, 7 that we looked at?
y'all,
What are the lower? But yeah, I mean, Rockwell's surprisingly lower than I thought it would be.
yeah, and the Rockwall wouldn't be considered rural. So yes, Rockwall County would be a place to get you a property, feeling like you got a good deal, and yet most likely gaining quite a bit of equity here in the future. So anything else to add on that, Chris?
Sure.
Anything else to add?
No, that's what I was just wanting to get your take on that.
I was wanting to get my